Welcome back. Now that we know how to convert polar coordinates to rectangular coordinate, let's take a look on how to convert rectangular coordinates to polar coordinates or the vice versa. Let's begin with our right triangle that was given earlier when we derive our conversion formula from polar to rectangular. So we have here point P, and we have the R on this right triangle. If this is your R, then this is your Y, and this is your X. Now rotating from your polar axis counterclockwise, this is going to be your theta. So from the right triangle trigonometry, we will now use the Pythagorean formula. We already know that for R squared, to get the R squared, we are going to use X squared plus Y squared, or the same thing as A squared plus B squared, to get your C squared. And for your theta, from our unit circle, from the knowledge that we have in the unit circle, we're going to have the arctangent Y over X to find the theta. So we're going to use this formula to convert our rectangular coordinates to polar coordinates. Keeping in mind polar coordinates, we have R comma theta. So for us to get the R, we'll use R squared equals X squared plus Y squared. And for us to get the theta, we're going to use the arctangent Y over X. So given this rectangular coordinates 6 comma negative 4, you know that the first number is your X coordinate and your second number is your Y coordinate. Calculating the R, we'll use the R squared equals X squared plus Y squared. So my X squared is going to be 6 squared plus my Y squared is going to be negative 4 squared. So when you put this in calculator, make sure you put this inside the parentheses before you raise it to the second power, because if not, it's going to give you a negative 16. But since this is squared and negative times negative, you should have a positive. So 6 squared is 36 plus negative 4 to the second power, as like I said earlier, is going to be positive 16. So your R squared is equal to 52, and since we need R, we get the square root of both sides. So therefore your R is going to be root 52. Now for us to get the theta, we'll use arctangent Y over X, which is negative 4 over 6. So grabbing your calculator, make sure it's in degrees. So I'm going to check for degrees mode first, so it's in degrees, so I can go ahead and do it now. Arctangent negative 4 divided by 6 is equivalent to negative 33.69 degrees. So therefore our polar coordinates will be root 52 comma negative 33.69. That is going to be on the fourth quadrant. So negative 33.69 degrees. That's going to be in the fourth quadrant. We're not going to change this to radian measure. We'll keep it as degrees. All right, so this is going to be our polar form. Let's take example number 2. This is going to be my X coordinate, and this is going to be my Y coordinate. So calculating for my R, I'm going to use R squared equals, my X is equal to negative 1, so I'm going to put negative 1 to the second power, plus my Y is negative 7 to the second power. So R squared is equal to 1 plus 49. So that's going to be R squared equals 50. R squared equals 50. I'm solving for R, so I'm going to get the square root of both sides, so r will be equal to root 50. Calculating for my tangent, for my theta, I'm going to use tangent. So tangent, arctangent, -7 over -1. So grabbing a calculator, you should have, let's see, I have arctangent, -7 divided by -1, or simply 7 will give you the same answer, equals 81.87 degrees. So my r is root 50, my theta is 81.87 degrees. That means my polar coordinates will be root 50, comma, 81.87 degrees. Alright, if you would like to practice on your own, go ahead and pause the video and answer the next two problems, and then we'll do the summary in conversion. While you're doing that, I'm going to keep going for number 3 and 4, and then you can check your answers later. I'm going to do the same thing. R squared equals -5 to the second power plus +5 to the second power. R squared equals 25 plus 25 will give me 50. So taking the square root of both sides, my r is going to be equal to root 50. And then my tangent, or my theta, I keep saying tangent, theta will be equal to arctan 5 over -5. Okay, my pen is acting out. So arctan, you can do also -1 only. So arctan 5 divided by -5. Close it out. I should have -45 degrees. So -45 degrees. Alright, so my r is root 50. My theta is -45 degrees. Therefore, my polar coordinates will be root 50, comma, -45 degrees. Alright, next one, number 4, I have 3 comma -6. So you already know that your x is 3. So I'm going to put 3 to the second power plus -6 to the second power. So I got 9 plus 16. That will give me, 36, sorry. So I should have 45. So my r is going to be root 45. My theta is going to be equal to arctan -6 over 3. And it should give me -63.43 degrees. So therefore, my ordered pair, my polar coordinates will be root 45, comma, -63.43 degrees. This is what we're looking for. Alright, to summarize what we did, including the conversion from polar to rectangular, the formula is going to be for x coordinate is going to be r cosine theta. For y coordinate, we're going to use r sine theta. To convert rectangular to polar, we're going to use r squared equals x squared plus y squared. And then for theta, we're going to use arctan y over x. And there you go. Next video, we're going to review for your checkpoint. I'll see you there.